I'm back again with another collaboration. I've known about for months, and so I've had all this time to get so excited over Noodle November, hosted by Tony over at Kettle Kitchen. Yes, that's right. There's like 60 of us getting together, and there should be about 2 videos every day for the month of November with a noodle recipe, whether they make the noodles from scratch or they use store-bought, or some aren't even using what your typical noodle would be considered at all. So make sure that you join along playlist, which hopefully I can link for you below. You'll want to join and see all the videos in this collaboration. But now it's time for me to grab my apron and get started on my recipe. I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to make colored pasta. That is something that I have wanted to do and have just kind of put off, and thought I'm going to do it for Noodle November. And I thought, with it being November, the fall holidays, let's make orange pasta. So join me as we put together a new recipe. I'm going to try to give you some measurements, but they're not going to be exact, because you got to realize that depending on the moisture in, well, the humidity in the air, or how big your eggs are, or if you're adding either a juice or a pulp or a puree, then that can make a difference on your flour. We will start out with 6 cups of flour, tablespoon of salt. Just kind of mix that together a little bit. I'm going to make a little well in the middle. Snap that in good. Now we will crack our eggs. Normally I would use 6, usually like 6 to 8 eggs. But we're going to be adding about half and see where we get on that. By the way, these eggs, I just went and got them today from my chickens. They're not giving me very many, so I'm treasuring every single one I get. And we're just going to slowly let all of this incorporate. And we're going to keep an eye on the moisture and whether or not we want to add more puree or if we need to add more flour. Okay, it's been going about a minute or so, but I can see it looks very dry. So let's go ahead and start adding a little bit more of the carrot puree. You can see it's really starting to come together now. Usually what I do is I let this go until my machine gives out. This one seems to shut off at a certain point. It can only handle so much. So I let it do all it can, and then I hand knead the rest. You can see it has all come together and nothing is sticking to the sides anymore. But the motor is starting to struggle. Alright, so the old beast, she gave out right about 10 minutes, and that's pretty impressive. I think this dough was slightly more moist, but we're just going to kind of put her off in the corner to get her bearings back or whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and knead this just a little bit, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to have to do much. It is soft. You can see it bounces right back when I squeeze it. So it really is ready. But you don't know until you get your hands all up in it to know what it really feels like and if it's right. And I think we're there, friends. So we've got this nice big ball of orange dough. Isn't that cool? And I just want to cover this. And we're just gonna let it sit off to the side for at least 30 minutes. Now, let's come over here and we can sit and visit a minute. Okay, if you're wondering how I made the carrot puree, I just took the carrots and I steamed them and then I ran them with the immersion blender and got it nice and smooth. But think about all the different natural foods that you could use to color your pasta. I mean, a most beautiful, vibrant purple would be to take pureed beets with some blueberries. Or you could just steam them and get the juice off of them. Spinach, herbs, flowers, all kinds of things. Just get creative and just use nature's rainbow to make whatever color pasta you want. You want a lighter color? Don't use as much. You want a more vibrant color? Look at nature and see what it has. Maybe those green peppers won't give you enough, but a bunch of parsley might. Just think of the options that you could do. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes, so I'm gonna get out my drying rack. I don't even know if they sell them anymore, but they got it off Amazon. Flour the surface. Just give it a good dusting. And what I've done here is I have attached the KitchenAid attachment for just to roll it out flat. And you'll just work with part of the dough at once. You don't want to work with all of it. So I'm probably going to cut this into like 8 pieces. Just going to kind of wrap it up over here in the plastic wrap. So it doesn't completely dry out on me. Start on setting 1. All right, so here at this point, I decided that the voiceover was going to be necessary. The machine gets turned up to at least halfway point. Probably I had it at like a 6 so that it can go much faster, and that makes the machine much louder. But what I'm doing here is I took and I kind of pressed out the dough into a disc, and then I ran it through a couple of times, and then you fold it in a 3-way fold, and then you run it through a couple more times, and after that then you can start moving the settings to make it a thinner, longer dough. You can see there I just changed it to probably the 2nd setting at this point, and I usually run the dough through at least 2 times on each setting. You can see it just is gliding right through there so smoothly, so nicely. So once you get it to the thickness you desire, I think I went to a 3, maybe 4, you will start laying it out on the counter, and you want to make sure that you put a little bit of flour down on it because you don't want it sticking to the next piece. And you just grab your next dough chunk and you flatten it out, and you start the process all over again until you've finished all of your dough pieces. Now, if you don't have a pasta roller, no problem at all. Just roll it out with a rolling pin and get it as thin as you would like it to be, and it's easy as that. No gadgets needed. It even looks like carrots. Isn't this beautiful? Look at that orange. Can you see the little specks of the carrot? So excited. Guys, this is exciting. Fun. Okay, the next step is to take this tool off and then put your cutter on. Today, I am choosing to do lasagna. And I know I said that wrong, but it's basically a fat fettuccine noodle. Okay, back to turning the machine on loudly, so we will do the voiceover again. What you'll do is you'll start with the first piece. Oh, that is a handy tool that you use. But we'll grab the first piece of the pasta sheet and we will roll it out. And it is so quick to do it this way because the machine just, you can turn it up at a higher level and it'll just do it so quickly for you. And they're nice, even pieces of pasta. But of course, you can grab a knife and you can cut the pasta yourself. You don't have to do it this way, but because I have it, I'm going to take advantage of it. And then you'll want to take your pasta and you will add it to the drying rack to dry. You can see here that I decided finally towards the very end to give up on trying to loop the pasta and just cut the big sheets in half and put them on the drying rack that way, and it went so much more smoothly. Okay, so I have decided to go ahead and just let these dry overnight, and then I'll cook a delicious sauce for them maybe tomorrow. I want to give it time to dry because I've got to get out and do evening chores, and we've already had supper, so I'll come back to you. Well, it has been actually 24 hours instead of the 12 I intended. And as you can see, many of the noodles have fallen, and that means they are dry and ready to be either packaged or used. So let's get to it. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I am going to package up the pasta. Well, actually first I weigh out how much the bag itself is. And then I want to add 10 ounces to that number so that I can package this pasta up, because I won't be needing to eat all of this at one time. So if I can put it in multiple packages, we can enjoy it. Okay, so after I have my bags ready, I need to seal them so they stay nice and fresh. And I had purchased this smaller impulse sealer off Amazon, gosh, several years ago, because I needed it for my pastas and some of my crafty things and whatever. So I have this one, and it's just a smaller version of basically what you get from Harvest Right. So I just need to make sure my pasta's down in there. And then you just press down till the button goes off, and it should be sealed better. And there you go. A nice seal across the top, so it'll stay nice and fresh till we're ready to use it again. Okay, we are now going to do some taste testing. I had a hard time deciding what I wanted to do as far as a sauce for the noodles, because I don't want to lose the flavor of the pasta. I want to see if that carrot flavor comes through. So I think I'm just going to make like a simple brown butter sauce and put some cheese on it and give it a taste. So let's get to cooking. Here on the back I have some boiling water, and then I have my cast iron warming up, and then I'm going to add some butter to this. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and put some salt and a little bit of olive oil into my boiling water. I'll go ahead and open up my package of cheese. This is homemade cheese. It is a Cotswold, and I love it. I have a garlic, chive, and onion that I put in it when I made it. Yes, this is some of my homemade cheese. I love any excuse to get to use it. Yum, I forgot how much I love this one. I had put it back into the cheese cave to age a little bit and give it a little deeper flavor, and it smells amazing. You know, there's a little bit extra here. Let's go ahead and give this a taste test. It is definitely more intense. A sharper cheese is going to go great with this pasta. All right, my water is boiling. I'm going to add a generous pat of butter to my hot pan. To the boiling water, I'm going to go ahead and add my pasta. This is probably about a half a bag, about 5 ounces, because it's just me trying it today. The rest of my family, I got in kind of late. The rest of my family has already eaten. And so this will just be a little something for me. All right, this is just going to take a couple minutes here to do this pasta. We'll get this sauce going. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Now, if I wanted to, I could add maybe some freeze-dried onions, some dehydrated mushrooms, capers would be good, all kinds of things. But I'm just gonna do a basic brown butter. And what that is just you took your butter and you're browning it. It's gonna kind of give it a feel. It's nice and al dente. I kind of like a firmer noodle. This is gonna make a perfect little side dish. Even with a little water, I'm gonna add it to my pan. I'm gonna coat this in the butter. Add a little olive oil. Butter and olive oil actually go really well together. Maybe a little more salt. There it is. Because these are carrot, I'm gonna do just a little bit of ginger. Doesn't take much, but I love the flavor. And like I said, this batch is for me. I'm going to plate this up. I'm gonna finish this off by grating on some of this delicious cheese. Okay, maybe a lot of this delicious cheese. Remember when we made some dehydrated parsley earlier this year? Yes. I'm going to crumble just a little bit of that on top because I love parsley. We use parsley a lot around here. Ooh, you want to come sit down with me? We'll give it a taste. Okay, here we are. Here it is. Ooh, see the steam? Ooh, I can't wait to try it. Okay. Let's give it the taste test. You know, I gotta tell you, I don't really taste the carrot, to be honest. And I had heard that that was the way it was, that when you add like the blueberry to make a dark blue or purple pasta, that you really don't taste it. And it's true. Because I might get a slight hint of it, But really, I'm tasting the cheese more than anything, so I'm trying to get a piece of just pasta and see if I can tell. Just a hint. So yeah, orange pasta. Thank you so much for joining me on this fun little adventure and this journey of making orange pasta. I hope that you enjoyed it too, and I hope that you'll try something creative and fun and new with your pasta. Thanks for joining us on the Noodle November. Until next time, friends, bye! You weren't supposed to see me. I'm adding more cheese.